What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. Good morning. This is Trading with Bubba. And of course, I don't know, as I said last week and the week before, just because the new year is starting doesn't mean that suddenly we're going to see some activity in the market. And the markets have been very quiet. Although the NASDAQ has been under some pretty severe pressure. Overall, there's not a lot going on and really not a hell of a lot to do. But as we happen to be watching right now, just out of the corner of my eye, I just watched crude oil getting hammered here. But maybe we might make a little trade here in crude oil where we're hanging out together. Look to be a potential buyer. And what we like to call the blow off to the bottom. We still got a couple of minutes to watch, so let's go back into what's going on here. And of course, as we said and kept saying, sell call spreads, sell call spreads, sell call spreads. And of course, here we are. We have now retraced to the mean. I would think if we can get down to about 465 in the spiders, I would look to sell some put spreads here. I think that, again, when you look at the overall markets, we kind of churn back and forth, and I think it's something to look at. And if we take a look at just the overall group, and you can see Apple is now broken far down, as we were always looking to sell call spreads. And of course, we would have covered back up in here. And now we have no position other than I'm actually short Apple here. But at the end of the day, I would be looking probably at about 180, as a spot to sell some put spreads. Again, I don't have an opinion to the market where we go. I have a view of the chart, okay? And under any circumstances, we are so oversold in Apple right now that there's a greater probability that at worst it holds here. It's not going straight down. I think this is one of the problems that too many people make and think that the markets aren't going to stop either going up or down. Here we're extremely oversold. There's going to be some sort of retracement, and we'll see what happens. Let's go back and take a look and see if there's anything to do in this crude trade. Obviously, got a minute to go, but not yet. But in the meantime, so Apple is coming down to some support, as is Amazon. Okay, Amazon went from overbought, right? We were sellers, came back to the mean, which we thought now it's oversold. So once again, where do we find a level? To me, again, I at the beginning, I always want to be a little bit more conservative what I'm looking for, especially in the thinner market. And I think that 144 is probably an area that I'd look at to sell some put spreads. Again, I'm not looking to get overly aggressive in these markets right now because it's still very quiet. You've got the jobs number tomorrow. You've got ISM services tomorrow. Now we got very little reaction off of today's jobs, off today's ADP number. But again, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, let's take a peek here. We're going to need a little bit of a trade here in the crude oil potential buy. So let's see what we got here right now. If you trade with me, right now the stop would be 71.26 if I do buy it. And of course, I don't have a buy yet. I'm going to wait a few seconds there to make sure that the bar confirms. But it looks like we may be getting a buy, and 71.26 would be the stop here if we get this trade. And it looks like we're going to get it. I'm going to wait. You got to wait. Can't try to jump. Okay. And the answer is yes. Go ahead. All right. So I took the trade myself over here. As you know, I'm not afraid to trade real money live while I'm with you. Let me just set my stop so I can go back to help and educate and share stuff with you. Anyways, so as we look through the markets, okay, so we see that Amazon's coming down to an area. Coin, which we continue to tell you, right, when it was up here, look at it, retraced right to the mean. Now we're hovering around the mean. I think that Coinbase, if it comes back to around 150, I'd like to sell some put spreads. Right now at 160, there's really nothing that I can do here. There's nothing for me to really look at here. Remember, there's either oversold, overbought, and there's a lot of sitting around in the middle of nowhere. And when you're trying to trade, when a market's in the middle of nowhere, you're basically flipping a coin. And I don't think that you want to be, as they say, a coin flipper. I think you want to try to trade with a little bit of an edge. Okay. Meta, which got hammered. And once again, another one that came from that overbought condition right back down to the mean. Okay. And certainly Meta looks like 345, right where it's at, might be an area to go ahead and sell some premium. If you make those types of trades. Okay. If you don't make those types of trades, you're waiting, then you have to wait. Okay. These are trades that I'm giving you now that you can participate in a market that is extremely quiet. Google, same thing. Overbought, right back to the mean, and now starting to move up. So it looks to me in Google, probably 137 is an area to look at as support. IWM, once again, overbought, right back down to the mean. So you're seeing the common theme and the common theory of what we're watching here. Okay, and here you go. So now, is this an area? This could be a great spot here. I'm personally going to wait. The nice thing about the IWM, which on Monday, by the way, IWM starts with the zero DTE options as well. Okay. So just so you know, so there'll be another product, and don't be surprised if there aren't many more coming, because certainly this creates more revenue and more commission for the exchanges, and it also creates more trading opportunities. But certainly I would look at the IWM around 194. Microsoft, again, just churning in this consolidation pattern, dead in the middle. If it gets to the top end, I'll sell call spreads. If it gets to the bottom end, I'll sell put spreads. It's that simple. Okay, that's all I'm looking at. I don't care who it is or what they do. Nugget under some pressure, which we don't really talk about that much here, but this is more of a play on gold. Okay, if you think that gold's going to make a move to the upside, this is something you might look at. Leverage. Again, I don't do a lot of leverage stuff because I don't think it's very good. But if it's a short-term trade, I think you look at it. Nvidia, once again, overbought right to the mean. Here we are. To me, it looks like in Nvidia, about 470 is a spot to look at. It's kind of like the midpoint there of this entire move. And if you look back, you can see the support. And certainly I don't have any problem selling some spreads here. If that were the case I was looking to do. The Qs, again, overbought right back to the mean. So here we are. Now, certainly you're going to see a rally in the Qs. And certainly if you sold, for example, today, let's say the 398, 396 put spread that expires today, I could live with that trade. All right, because I expect a bounce in this market. I expect some retracement no matter what, even if we're going a lot lower, which the trends have certainly changed. But even if we're going lower, I think that you can expect a little bit of a rally, considering that we've come down from 415 to 395 before we started to bounce. That's a pretty sizable move. And again, markets don't go straight one way, and they will have some retracement, whether they're going up or whether they're going down. There will be some retracement. Okay. Square continues to get hammered, and now Square is getting to a spot of very oversold. And I would look at if it gets down to 64, I'd look to be selling some put spreads down around the 64 level. Okay. The spider's up a little bit today, right? Hovering around the mean. Personally, I'd like to see this come down to about 465, as we mentioned a few minutes ago. Okay. Tesla is kind of churning, again, up at the top of the end. So you notice that all these trades, many of them were winning trades. Now, again, they're not going to get you rich. What they're really doing is they're keeping you involved in the market. They're allowing you to grind out some small profits. They're allowing you to participate and keep your mind sharp while you're watching and waiting for the bigger breakout. Okay. When is now, again, up very much overbought now. So when we'd be looking to sell call spreads. So we're not looking at just straight one side or one trade. We're looking at many different types of trades, because each chart, each one is individual. Each one has its own bearing and own meaning. Okay. So you have to look and you have to recognize where we are. Okay, Zoom, if you trade this is very oversold. Now, I think Zoom is worth garbage and going to zero. Well, not zero, but I think it's going back to the 30s. In the meantime, for today, if I were going to trade it, I'd look to be a seller of put spreads down 5 days in a row. You have to assume that there will be some sort of a bouncer. Okay, again, remember, we have to make certain assumptions based on the information that we can see that is right in front of us. Okay, that is something that is important to understand. Let's just go take a look at our open trade. I know it's not doing great. Let's see how bad it's doing. Well, it's down a little bit. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens to it again. I'm not worried about it. I made the trade. I felt that I had the edge in making the trade, and I don't have anything to do. I've got my stop in place. So now, as we look into the overall futures markets, okay, and first of all, you can see crude has been under a lot of pressure, but really look at it. Here it is. right in that middle consolidation pattern, hovering around the mean. Okay. Now, crude's going to make a much bigger move at some point now, but will it be up or will it be down? We don't know. We're in it right now long, but again, this is certainly not a bullish chart, but we're long because the short-term chart is a little bit more bullish. Okay. And the trade is now profitable for the moment. Let's just go back here real quick so we can kind of watch it. And there you go. You can see that it's now a little bit profitable. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stop in at break even because I don't want this to turn into a disaster or a nightmare. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I don't lose money on this trade now because I've been in it long enough and it has not performed exactly how I'd like it to see it perform. So I don't want to lose any money now. So I'll go ahead and put a break even stop on it and let it trade. Okay, but you can see you're getting a little bit of a spike. Like certainly, I would have no problem potentially. In fact, we'll go ahead and look at these, and maybe we'll take a couple of trades right here. As long as you're setting up, maybe I'll take it. Okay, let's just make sure I'm on the right pattern. Okay, so I don't have it. I was looking at a 1 minute chart. The Dow certainly has the opportunity to be a sale here. Okay. And it doesn't matter that it's going up. What I care about is it going up with a little bit too. Now the volume's a little bit weak and a little bit light. This would be a little bit of a higher risk trade, but with the micros, I'm willing to take a little bit of a stab here with it going straight up. So I'm going to go ahead and wait now and look for. And I need a red bar here to show on a 1 minute. My master time frame is the. And I'm stopped out of my crude, by the way, at break even, and I made a few bucks. I made enough for coffee. Okay. But again, here we're waiting for a red bar in the Dow, okay, to be a seller. Okay. And until that event occurs, there's nothing for me to do. Okay. I'm not going to jump early because again, it's still going higher. What I'm looking for is some retracement to the mean. Because if I look at this on a bigger chart, you can see. Okay, I just make this 4 minutes real quick. Okay, you can see that we're very overbought on a 4 minute basis, which is fine. Again, whatever time frame you're trading, that's the time frame you're concerned about. So let's go back here and see. And I still don't have a trade yet. This was pretty much of a flat bar, so again, I'm not gonna be too interested looking at that. And certainly is the NASDAQ giving us something? No. But the Dow is fairly, for the kind of conditions I have, the Dow is fairly clear. Okay. But again, I don't have a trade yet. I have to continue to wait for it to appear. But as you can see, it's pretty quiet. You're not getting a lot of major movement anywhere around here, which is again partially a concern, as you look at the chart because there's not much going on. So again, it makes the market tougher to trade. Okay. When you're getting very little activity. Okay, and so we're still not seeing an opportunity here. And of course, it's climbing even higher. It's on its highs of the day right now. So why would I think that I could pick the absolute stone top of the market? That's one of the things you have to always remember. Okay, so now we're watching, and so we'll flip back here and we'll come back. We got a few seconds to wait. So here, as we look, so you can see the Dow is up at the top end. So certainly I do want to be a seller of that anyways. The Russell is right at the mean. Okay, and these are the futures themselves now. The NASDAQ is at the mean. And of course, the S&P is at the mean. So the NASDAQ, Russell, S&P, very tough to trade here. They're right in the middle of nowhere. I don't have a real direction or an idea. Okay, but the Dow, again, as we were watching and we're waiting for a potential, but yet here it goes. It continues to go higher. So again, why should I want to sell it now, okay, when it's still going up? That is why you use a secondary time frame for that very reason, because again, why should I jump early when I have no reason to jump early? Okay, this is something we're continuing to watch. And again, here it goes up. It's still going up. So again, there's no reason for me to want to jump in here and trade this yet. Okay, because I'm only trading it now to the short side. I know that it's overbought. I know that the volume is picking up heavier, which means there's probably a little bit of short covering, a little bit of a squeeze going on here. So all I'm waiting for now is for the opportunity to go ahead and sell it when it gives me the signal, because I can see volume is increasing. Okay. So all I'm waiting for is the opportunity, the signal, and I haven't gotten it yet. So, okay. Hey, listen, I can wait all day. I got nothing to do. Okay. I am not going to try to reach early. I'm not going to step into this. I'm going to sit back and let it tell me when it's time. Now, if it happens to show here, my stop would be 38,028. 38,028. If it shows here. Now, it's not showing yet. Okay, it's still green, right? You can see that. So there's nothing for me to look at right now, but I am waiting for it. And again, this is the patience that you can use when you're trading in the markets is the key, because at the end of the day, it takes a lot of patience to be able to make some real money in the markets and not put yourself in jeopardy. Because when you put yourself in jeopardy, what you're really doing is you're saying, well, I'm just too sharp and too smart, and I know where the market's going to go, when the bottom line is nobody knows. Okay. And we just wait. That's why we wait for these triggers to give us an opportunity. Okay. Because that's all we can wait for is a potential trigger that tells us. And yet here we go. We're still going straight up. So again, where am I going? Why should I be in a hurry? Okay. Should I be in a hurry to lose money here? Okay. The stop will change as well if we do get a trade, and we're obviously running a little bit short on time here, but we will watch it and watch it until it finishes here to see if it does give us an opportunity. Again, this is something that we want to be very, very clear on. Okay, as we watch. All right, and here we go. Maybe this will be the bar that gives us the stop right now would be 38,036. 38,036 would be our stop here. Okay, so again, that's what and it looks like it's going to be close. Okay, it looks like it's going to be close, and you give us a shot here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get it. We got to wait, but it looks like we're going to get it right here. Okay, go for it. If you're trading along me, and 036 is the stop, 38,036. Okay. And there we are. We're set up and ready to go. So let's go back and just see what's overall happening. And again, there's not a lot happening. This is not overly exciting. It's not like I'm dying to do anything here. I don't think there's anything special or active about these markets here. I think you got to, again, be patient and wait. But I would suspect you'll see a bounce in Apple at some point. I would suspect you'll see a bounce in Amazon at some point. And that's kind of what you're waiting on now, is where these bounces are going to come from. And all you really want to do is use the shorter time frame to give you a clue as to the bounces coming. Because remember, as we get ready to sign off here, the shortest time frame is always, the markets cannot trend lower until the short-term time frames turn lower. They can't trend higher until the long-term times trend higher. Okay. So again, the short-term is, and your short-term is up to you. It's some people, want to trade 1 minute, some 5. That is up to you. But at the end of the day, I would not be surprised to see this rally continue today. We've been under some pressure, so certainly a rally would be warranted. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you back here on Tuesday. This is Trading with Bubba for Thursday, the 4th of January. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you later.